One of their meetings, when we got here, always they got spent. And they always,
Well, we wrote that as a sort of strong tank.
well, they don't have a limit on how long you can talk.
No, we don't.
So they have to figure it out.
I don't like aquatic animals. We didn't have any sharks in Lake Erie, so every reason without sharks. Or in the Chesapeake Bay, we didn't have any.
Really bad inventors. Oh, okay. That's right, because they're learning people like startup money. So they're.
Lots of good.
You can go to the back room or anything.
Full house.
I'm sitting here trying to look at.
Get out of the night.
John, I feel like I never get to talk to you.
Good thing,
I mean, well,
don't spend your money now.
we went from every hour. And I miss you, John. I hope you're doing it right. Almost every day, that's all time. But you need to, what, now tell me your daughter's.
Maybe we're going in the stand and he
And
goes,
she, that was part of the Rotary.
just come up to the podium.
And afterwards, we'll take a picture. Just like,
Yeah.
Goodness.
She's getting into that kind of past the honeymoon period now, so she's going to the routine Monday.
Tell them not to be coming around there.
Oh, I see.
Everybody else is welcome.
How's it listening?
Yeah, I'm around here, and I'm not originally first around here, even though I
You
lived
doing
here
okay?
for 30 years.
I did 35 years of Baltimore. I can start talking to Baltimore.
You don't sound like this.
No. Born in Pennsylvania, raised in Cleveland, suburb of Cleveland. 34 years in Baltimore, and then down there. The live is enough interaction to get the.
I didn't hear it.
You don't want a lot of house, but not from around here. My parents, my mom and dad were from Connecticut,
Well, my father was from Vermont, and going far enough back, from Vermont to New York. So when my dad went to service, my cousin, my family, my ancestors founded a couple towns in Connecticut. Came over in 1630.
my daddy was from the cemetery. We'll brag.
My daughter's son was down in Charlotte from Ohio, where she went to college. Because Ohio was too cold for my son-in-law. My kids were down from India, and then at the top. My son-in-law came up from one of the hottest parts of the day, get his master's and then it was hard. And they ended up doing a consultants out. In Michigan. We did a Michigan winter.
Oh gosh, she said egg.
So down here, so we of course had to follow. Our son's in Richmond, so it's close.
Wow. Hey, that's been cool for me.
don't know.
Let's see her. See what they're saying.
be different. Well, it's good to see you. Hopefully I can start that tradition going forward. I saw them when I was on
Cups here, huh?
Trust me,
Oh, we'll tell you about that. We always kid you. Does he?
I can sit in do it by himself. Russell Bowles, nice to meet you. I'm good, how are you doing?
All right, might as well use this one. All right, we'll call the Town of Boiling Springs, this is actually the November meeting to order. Meeting a week early because Election Day will be next Tuesday. So welcome, everyone. We will begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. We have members from Springmore Elementary School. Our principal, Andrew Roop, is with us, as well as Christian Pizarro and Calvin Boyle. If you guys will come up and if everyone will join us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I've got something for you too. You know, while you're doing the picture, town council here. scratch that.
No. You'll find it. You'll find it.
Mr. Ellis?
Oh, right.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Y'all tell us it's.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, real camera.
That's right.
Yeah, camera. Like a Polaroid.
Oh, film it. Oh, film it. Yeah.
Thank you, Christian and Calvin. We will move on to routine business. We have swearing in of our new officers. We have Andrew Paz. Andrew started with Bowling Springs Police Department May 2024 after serving with the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office. Andrew served as a road deputy and investigator with the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office, has a bachelor's in criminal justice and a minor in human resources, and he is being pinned by his wife, Mary. Sergeant Chris, that's investigator Andrew Paz. Sergeant Christopher Williams. Chris started with Boiling Springs PD in May of 2016. Prior to joining BSPD, Chris worked for the Shelby Police Department. He has worked as a patrol officer, field training officer, and training coordinator. Chris also recently became a general instructor through the North Carolina Criminal Justice Academy. He is being pinned by his wife, Amy.
Hey, look, they're on my witnesses for workers' comp.
We also have Lieutenant Jonathan Gant. Am I going too fast?
Nope, you're good.
Very sure.
We're rolling with the flow.
Okay. Lieutenant Jonathan Gant. Jonathan started working with Bowling Springs Police Department full-time in October of 2003. Jonathan has worked as a patrol officer, detective, and sergeant, and previously worked as a paramedic here in Bowling Springs. He is being pinned by his wife and former council member, Tanya.
Chris, you gotta smile.
Jonathan, this way a little bit.
I'm a little nervous here.
You can sit your time. It's not-
You know, Tanya knows how to give shots.
Yes, I do. Okay.
And then we have Chief Brian Doria. Brian just started with us on October 1st. Began his policing career in Goose Creek, South Carolina in 2012 before joining the Gastonia Police Department in 2014. Brian has worked as a patrol officer, training officer, and a member of the recruiting team, a member of the crisis negotiation team as well. He started the Gastonia Regional Drone Team and was recently the Gastonia Regional Crisis Negotiation Team Commander. Brian is being pinned by his wife, Sarah, and retired Assistant Chief Aaron Sauce. I was told to say Chief Aaron Worster. I only do what I'm told here.
one step up, one step. This way, honey. Perfect, right there. Thank you.
Fix your hair, Jonathan.
One more. Don't move. Okay. Anybody? It's all yours.
All right, we're gonna swear everyone in at once. One of the great gifts of my life is when Chief Barry Johnson gave me a shadow box with my dad's badges and pins in it, and I have that at home. I appreciate so much what you men do and what this badge represents, and I want you to know that from me personally. Okay, if you guys will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will be alert and vigilant to enforce the criminal laws of this state, that I will not be influenced in any matter on account of personal bias or prejudice, that I will faithfully and impartially execute the duties of my office as a law enforcement officer according to the best of my skill, abilities, and judgment. So help me God. Congratulations.
Pause. I just did 4 of us real quick. I got the trace over here. Then we'll be done.
Sure. You know we're not gonna pass on.
I know, I'm trying to be nice.
This is not gonna work well. Councilmember Litt, can you please come over next to Councilmember Green, in between Green and Ellis? That works. Don't move, no, no.
Fred is distracting me.
Zach.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the camera.
Zach up front.
Okay.
Good job.
Mr. Mayor, this was all a Halloween exercise. It's just actually been trick or treat. They're just dressed up as police officers. It's not.
Doing good, how you doing?
All right, we will move along with the adoption of the agenda. Any comments or questions about the agenda? If not, is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Motion from Councilman Wood, is there a second? Second from Councilman Thomas. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Adoption is adopted unanimously. Mr. Evans from Gardner Webb.
Turn with me to Hebrew. Hello, everybody. Can't believe it's already November. It's sneaking up on us. Run through some updates and different things that we have going on around campus. In no particular order, mark your calendars for November 11th, Veterans Day. We will be having a Veterans Day prayer service. And we have a special guest, Navy Bob, as he goes by, as a retired nuclear submarine commander, coming to talk to us about love and leadership. And that will be at 11 a.m. on the 11th in Tucker Student Center. For my history folks, you know the significance of that. Military Appreciation Game will be the 8th of November, that's Saturday. This week on October 30th, with Oktoberfest free to the community. I'll tell you the rain plans if it's going to rain, but I'm crossing my fingers and praying it's not going to rain. So that'll be in the OICC parking lot. It's free to the community. Everyone come out, get some free candy. We are hosting a glow run, as it's called. Think of a 5K with glow sticks, November 15th. Our PA students are hosting that to support the Bulldog Cares program. You may not realize this, but even on a college campus, there are food insecurities and other needs that folks have. Tire goes out, they need to get home, there's an emergency of some sort, and so we have a fund at the university that helps those students when they have those specific emergencies. And so come on out, you can support that without having to run. If anybody on council runs it, I will pay for it. Basketball season tickets are on sale. I'm excited to announce a recent partnership with Pinnacle Classical Academy for experiential learning. We inked that deal just a week or two ago, so excited to have that partnership. Getting ahead just a little bit, December 4th, we will host the Festival of Lights dinner and show, and an emphasis on the dinner. Our goal is to create a evening at Gardner Webb instead of just coming out to a concert. You can use it as an opportunity to have a nice night out on the town. Have a dinner at Gardner Webb and then go to the concert. And then the last update I have is our week of giving, service, and prayer to support the community. The week of November 17th through the 21st, we will be partnering with different organizations through giving, service, and prayer. We've actually blessed for our faculty and staff to have, it's 120 years of Gardner Webb, to have 120 minutes that week that they're all part to go serve in the community, as well as have the time, talent, treasure is what I always say. So spend the time, lift up some prayer, and then also pull out your checkbook where they can. And so we'll be doing that again the week of November 17th. Thankful for the opportunity to be here. I appreciate you guys. Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Next community report is from the TDA, Mr. Parker.
Yes, so, sorry, there we go. Drawing your attention to the new financials, which are on page 10 of your packet, and they are in the consent agenda. But I wanted to make a shameless plug for Rhonda. So she's done the financials in a different way this month, and so they're a little bit more colorful. I think that she said pretty, but I'm not exactly sure what adjective she used. But I think it was pretty, Rhonda. Wasn't it pretty?
It was pretty.
I think she said these are pretty. You've got there on page 12, in purple, next page, is the TDA, it's the TDA's expenses for the year. So you see those there. We budgeted $20,000 over the fiscal year. We have had our occupancy tax income has dipped off. And so you see that there with actual year-to-date total occupancy tax income of $1,525, of which $18 is interest. So just food for thought there, since we are now doing since we've restructured the TDA, this is going to be included as part of your financials that you receive from us. Is there any feedback while we're talking about the TDA? So feedback on the TDA generally, or on the way that we're presenting the financials now as opposed to how we used to do it. Any thoughts on that? Is this easier, or better? Rhonda can do these every month, so that was the thought, since it's not a line by line analysis. These can be made every month, and so it gives you a good snapshot there. She's got the staff report on page 10, outlining it kind of generally. Then on 11, you've got general fund, in that orangish color. I'm not good at the colors. My printer doesn't have great ink, so, it's that orangish color, which Tracy, I think it's orange up there on the screen too. Yeah, it's orange. Then you got water sewer in green, in blue. Then below that, you've got our Powell bill funds. Something you wouldn't traditionally see in those financials is approximate unassigned fund balance, general fund, approximate retained earnings, water and sewer, and cash and equivalents down there in the bottom corners. That's something new that you all can see now that we're doing it this way, where traditionally you've not seen that information. And then on 12, you've got our capital project fund and the FEMA grant fund accompanying the TDA. Any feedback on that? It's in my manager's report later, but we can knock it out now. If you've got any thoughts on the way that we're presenting the financials.
I have a question. I like the way it's being presented.
The prettiness?
Yes. So under the TDA, you've got actual fiscal year $25,003. This is in, I guess that's the purple. Interest income $62. We only earned $62 on $25,000. Is that what that's saying, or am I reading that wrong?
Rhonda says yes.
That's not much. I mean, I don't know who that's with or whatever, but $62 on $25,000.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So we have that either in the North Carolina Capital Management Trust or at Bank OZK.
It's all in Bank OZK.
It's all in Bank OZK. We don't have any of that at the Capital Management Trust.
They don't have an account with Bank, yeah, they don't have an account with.
The TDA is a discreetly presented municipal component unit, and they do not handle our network. They don't have an account with the Capital Management Trust, so they just earn interest at the same rate as a regular checking account would earn. So that's why the interest rate is so much lower. That's what it is.
Suppose they could purchase
I guess in theory,
or something.
as I say, I guess in theory, the TDA itself, the TDA board could vote to invest their funds in a CD or something else. They got right around $50,000 in the TDA reserve fund. But we can look in,
I mean, there's only like 3 people on the TDA now, right?
yes.
And you're one of them.
Yes, sir.
I think y'all need to look into that. That would be my recommendation.
We will, at our next meeting, discuss that.
Okay.
And look at, as we look, so we're also working through TDA funds can only be spent on certain things based on percentage increments, so it's 1/3 and 2/3. And so we're gonna untool that to figure out how much in the reserve can actually be spent towards the capital expenses, which are the 1/3, so it's the smaller portion. But I know that the financials were on the consent agenda, and I dove into them anyway, but I just wanted to get some feedback and see what y'all thought about the way they were presented. And that is the Tourism Development Authority update, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Thompson, we may be the only municipality with pretty financials. Perhaps that's a story.
Or not.
We are now to, is there anyone from the public that would like to make a comment that is not on the agenda, about something that's not on the agenda? All right. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor,
I'm sorry, yes.
we need to, when we adopt the consent agenda, assuming that there's no feedback on item number 3, resolution number 251028.01, we need to strike the words Skinner Road.
Okay. Any comment or questions about the consent agenda from council? If not, is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda with the words Skinner Road stricken from item number 3?
Make a motion, we adopt the consent agenda.
All right, that is from Councilman Thomas. Is there a second? Second from Councilman Ellis, I believe. Any further comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, consent agenda is adopted. All right, we'll move on to regular business with the NCDEQ Emergency Bridge Loan Addendum. Mr. Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So last month, we discussed, taking this additional loan through the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. It is a Helene Bridge loan. So we've already accepted one bridge loan in the amount of $1.37 million. Those are 0% interest loans that need to be repaid in a lump sum by 2035. After feedback from, I keep wanting to say last month, it was earlier this month, and this item is on page 15 of your agenda. I reached out to North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality to ask them about this $1.5 million bridge loan. They said that it is obligated currently to the town, so it will remain obligated to us until such time as we either accept it and actually move to the next phase, until we deny that we want it, and so then they'll put it back into the pot, or until the legislature were to de-obligate those funds and put them back into some other funding mechanism. We can accept these funds and not draw down from the funds, so that it then moves them into accepted funding. But we will not have actually borrowed any of the money until the board approved for us to borrow it for a specific purpose or a specific reason. So I thought that probably would be the sweet spot for us, so that we would have it if we needed it. And so if the board were so inclined at a later date to have us draw down money from this bridge loan, we could do so. But we wouldn't have to run the risk of it potentially being de-obligated at a later date. And I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. I think a good bit of information here. You see the proposed project there. I will say, funding for Helene-related or adjacent projects is coming at us fast and furious. And so we were in a meeting today from 9 to 11 talking about those. Now, we immediately went into one from 11 to 12, and then we have an additional one tomorrow, all outlining different funding vehicles that are becoming available. So we may not actually need to access this loan, but it is something that the resolution you all just approved for the funding application, we got a bonus 50 points on our application because we have already accepted one bridge loan. We won't get any more points by accepting this one, but because we were labeled as a bridge loan recipient, we get bonus points for that. But right now, my plan is that if it were accepted, we would not immediately draw down from it. We would allow that $1.5 million to stay with NCDEQ. We would only draw down from it if some of the other grants that we are going to pursue over the next calendar year through 26 do not actually pan out. But I'm happy to answer any questions as you have them.
Is this one 10-year or 5?
10, yes, sir.
The question would be, why not? Any reason why we shouldn't do it? I mean, it's like, kind of like a line of credit, right? I mean, it's there if we need it, but if we don't need it, we just give it back to them when 10 years ago.
It is like a line of credit, to the extent that it will sit there after we have accepted it, and until we touch it, it will just stay there. And the only way we would touch it is by coming to you all to say, hey, we want to access this. And so it does not require LGC approval, which makes it different than every other type of debt instrument I can think of sitting in the chair right now. Because typically we would have to go to the local government commission to get that sorted. But yes, so it's definitely unique. They don't typically give out any kind of 0% interest loans for anything.
Further comments or questions from council?
So, yeah, I have one on those rate increases. That's the ones you got from NCDEQ, is that correct?
Is this on page 25?
It's the financial model, it's the top part of the financial model and the revenue. What
Yes,
says-
sir. So this incorporates, so this is what we got as the earliest part of our AIA grant from the state. McGill and Associates have done our revenue modeling for what they believe we will need over the next 10 years. And to incorporate those capital needs, that is what the computer program says we need to do to the rate structure. That's completely separate from this $1.5 million. This is not inclusive of that, but it is inclusive of the 1.37.
Right,
Yes, sir.
so if we did draw down to 1.5, those numbers would go up,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
If you add all that up over 10 years, that's about an 80% increase.
Yes, sir. I think right now, our utility bills for 3,000 gallons, are $30.15 per, so that's water and sewer at 3,000 gallons. The average across the state is $68.57, for a combined, so our current is $60.30 for both services. The state average is $68.57. After the proposed increase for next year, and again, this is all preliminary information, we're gonna dig into this, and by we, I mean you all and the engineer, they will be on site in the spring. But their proposal right now was for us to go to $66.33, and that keeps us under the state average. But, all of that, they will present to you at a later date. The reason I gave you this preliminary data was because we were talking about this loan, and I knew you all wanted to look at that information before you made a decision today.
Oh, it's good information, I mean, I appreciate you providing it. I don't know when we'll have a chance to get 0% interest loans again.
I will say that my colleagues in the east, are not thrilled that we get 0% interest loans because they've never gotten them through the hurricanes that they've had. So they're not extremely thrilled that we're getting that option, but they'll be okay.
So we're looking at 2.87 million total. The 1.37 we had already discussed, and then an additional 1.5 million.
Yes, sir.
2.87 total.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what we're talking about tonight.
Yes, sir.
That's what we're talking about if we draw it down.
If we draw it
If we
down.
draw it down, yeah.
I will also candidly say to you that some of the projects that we got the $1.37 million loan for, some of those we are applying to, in these grants that we're talking about, we're applying for the same thing, so we won't actually use the loan, we would use the grant instead. So we will, the finance policy that council approves requires us, it outlines a way that we apply funding. So federal funding is the first thing that we apply, then state funding, interest-bearing funding, or any funding that would be a multi-year obligation is some of the last funding we apply, if that makes sense. So we would apply a grant first.
Does this take out all the terracotta, or we still have more to go?
Do you mean in the 1.5?
Yeah,
Let me-
1.5.
No.
We still have
Neither of
more.
these take out all the terracotta. The capital improvement plan preliminary estimate that you have in front of you does not take out the terracotta lines. 52% of our lines are terracotta for sewer, at an estimated cost of about $18 million. And so, 54% of our lines are over 50 years old, and so most of those are the terracotta lines.
Further questions, comments? If not, is there a motion to proceed?
I move we proceed.
All right, Mr. Councilman Green with the motion to accept the resolution, adopt the resolution.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Wood. Further questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. That adoption, resolution is adopted unanimously, which then takes us, dovetails us into the capital project budget ordinance on Woodland, Fairview, Hammer, et cetera. Mr. Manager?
Yes, this allows Rhonda to add this, project as a line in our budget. So you will see this appear in the budget at, if you were looking back at page 10 or page 12, it will appear, so there's already a line there that says Bridge Loan Water Sewer Fund, so that would be updated. If we ever were to draw down, that's where the money would go.
Questions or comments? This is the one we discussed a few weeks.
Yes, sir. This is just allowing us to budget for the instrument you all just passed.
Make a motion to approve the ordinance CP 25-1028.1 pending the acceptance of the funds, right?
I have a motion from Councilman Thomas, second from Councilman Green. Further questions or comments on the issue? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. And that is carried unanimously. All right, Boiling Springs Police Department Foundation.
The town's personnel policy, Article 5, Section 7, requires that when, any town staff pledge or solicit contributions during work hours, that those, you all have to give your express permission to us, to take those actions, to do any kind of solicitations. You have done that already with 2 instances. One is Shop with a Cop. The other one is for music on Main related activities. If at any time you want us to not solicit for that, just as a general plug, you would need to withdraw your consent to that as well, so please let me know, if you ever think about that, or if there's ever an issue. The Boiling Springs Police Department Foundation is a proposed idea, and you've got several documents in here, that outline the way that it would work, the structure, for the proposed foundation. The most important part of this is that it is a non-governmental entity. So it would have a separate EIN, it would be its own tax exempt authority outside of the town. So we're not voting on its creation or anything else. What we are voting on tonight is whether our police officers could work as a partner of that foundation to say, you know, hey, you know, could they solicit any kind of donations or pledges? Other agencies have these. Other agencies have actually used their nonprofit foundations as a way to host Shop with a Cop rather than running it through their typical town operating budget like we do. And the benefit of that is, because it's a nonprofit, there are some tax implications to donating to it, where we're the government, so you don't get tax implications for donating to us. And I am available for any questions. I think you've got some things on page 31.
So how would the financials for the foundation be presented to the town? Is that something that, I mean, if it's a 501c3, is that something that be provided to us on a regular basis? Will we know what the money was being collected for and where it was being spent?
No, so it's a completely separate entity. Now, we could certainly request that, but the foundation would exist completely outside of my scope of control. And
Whose control would it be under?
the nonprofit board of directors. Likely, I think ideally, local citizens of Boiling Springs who are maybe business owners and other things. That's the model that works under other places. Certainly, a council member could be on there, but the most important part is that it remains a non-governmental organization, because once Rhonda or I touch it in our official capacity, that changes the makeup of the organization, because then it has to meet all of the GAAP and audit requirements.
So Rhonda couldn't serve in any capacity on the board, any department head couldn't serve in any capacity?
Not in an official capacity. She arguably, Rhonda specifically, could arguably serve on the board, but we certainly wouldn't want her to do that in her official capacity as our finance officer. Because that would change it from being non-governmental to quasi-governmental, and once it gets quasi-governmental, then we open ourselves up for liability.
Okay, thanks.
I think the way that this works other places, and you can, so let's see here, on 31, specifically for things like grants and philanthropic partnerships, that will allow for our police department, our police officers, to apply to the foundation for maybe there's a specific piece of equipment that the town budget just doesn't allow us to purchase. But the foundation has enough funding that they can say, yeah, we can provide red dot sights, or we can provide this type of tactical vest that the town maybe can't afford. So it allows them another revenue stream, so that our officers would write a grant to the foundation board would review all of those in the round, make their funding decisions, and then they would donate those things to the town. And the benefit to the private citizen is there are tax implications to donating to a nonprofit. So it's a revenue vehicle that we would use to assist our police department.
Other questions, comments?
Do we have shop with the cop dollars now? Do we have any in the fund?
We have some
Yes.
that are kind of earmarked for just shop with the cop activities.
So we would just plan to expend those out?
We would, we would not be able to get this before Shop with the Cop this year.
Okay.
It would be something that we would set up in our operating budget as we approach either the next fiscal year or potentially the fiscal year after that, depending on the amount of time that it would take. But we would wanna make sure we zeroed out the Shop with the Cop. We wanna get all that out of our budget before. We wouldn't transfer it to the foundation, we would wanna expand it from our operating budget.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna ask a question on page 29. We have this letter that would go out to the community, and our new chief, Diorio's, his name's on that. So is this something that our police chief approached you about and asked the possibility that we can set something up like this in the town?
It is, this is something that he is familiar with from his previous posting. And so this type of letter is the actual, like, reason that it needs to come to council, because we can't send this without your approval. And so that's what Article 5, Section 7 forbids us to do. So we would need your approval to engage in these activities. If, for instance, Zach Parker, private citizen, wanted to create a foundation, I could go out and create a foundation and call it whatever I want to, and the government can't copyright any of its materials, so I could potentially make my own private foundation called Boiling Springs Police Department Foundation. And so long as Zach Parker, private citizen, did not get any kind of encouragement from town staff, the town would not have to be involved. But to the point when a town staff member would solicit donations or pledges for that foundation, it's when they would run afoul of Article 5, Section 7 of the personnel policy and subject themselves to.
Well, the only reason I ask that is we have a new police chief, and this is something that he supports and is behind, and so I'm in favor of it just because of that, and nothing else, so that he would know that we support something that he's put out in the very beginning of his being the police chief. So that's the reason I threw that out there.
And it seems like it would at least offer minor relief for the budget concern.
Yes, it certainly does, and, as you all can imagine, I think there's we have small businesses, and y'all, I know that I'm preaching to the choir, and y'all know this much better than I do, but our small businesses are engaged, they are interested, and they are wanting to work, for our community. And so this gives them an option and a vehicle to accomplish that goal. And it takes potentially pressure off the taxpayer.
And I like the idea of the foundation, but I would hope that we would always find a way to budget the necessary items for our law enforcement partners. I mean, we just can't ever. So I just sort of worry in the long run, what is the equipment they would be purchasing that we wouldn't already be trying to provide? And I understand budget constraints and this type of things, but we've always tried to provide for the police department and whatever needs there are. And I know sometimes there's other things, but this might be a good vehicle for that. So I would be in favor as well, but I would hope that that would be our unified message that we're going to support law enforcement to provide them whatever they need while they're working here.
I think it would be specialty items, or even potentially if, I'm pulling something out of my hat here, but in February, when Governor's Highway Safety opens and there's a grant there and we say, okay, we could apply for this thing, but we don't have the 20% match. But maybe the foundation could give the town the 20%, they could say, well, we'll match it if you get the grant. Those are the kinds of things I think where we would have a natural partnership.
Any further comments or questions? Not, is there a motion to adopt the?
I make a motion to adopt the Bowling Springs Police Department Foundation.
All right, Councilman Wood with the motion, is there a second? Second from Councilman Green. Further comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, and Police Department Foundation is adopted unanimously. On to amusements. Chapter 112. Mr. Parker?
Well,
Hours of operation is our.
how amusing.
How amusing.
So we've got for you today, a couple of things here. So I think on 32, you've got the staff report there. It's pretty similar to what you saw last month. If we flip over council wanted last month, some examples of what our neighboring municipalities do. I think we've gotten some pretty good feedback. And so you see that there on 34. From the outset, what's important at this point is we're not asking you to approve any ordinance changes tonight. And so we will need to draft those and get those to you all so that they can be read and make sure that they're vetted and everything else. So we're just looking for feedback at this point. We're not planning on making any ordinance changes. So this will likely come back to you in December unless you all say you're good with the current ordinance, in which case we will not bring it back in December. But if you look specifically on page 34, something that we thought may be in the sweet spot for what we were wanting to do was there in 34, something that Forest City does, where they say that tournaments where they need to extend the hours of operation outside of that bracketed time, that you would be required to get a permit, and then they have some rules and stipulations there about the frequency of permits per month and the number of events that one may have. But we are open entirely for feedback. I liked the Morganton example, which is on page 35. Under age 16 are not allowed during 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on school days, nor after 9 p.m. on the school day. Not allowed at all if obscene writing or pictures are on the establishment. No one under 18 is allowed in the establishment if the operator or manager carries a firearm on the premises. Thought that was I need to define the word like. I found that a little comical. It seemed like a long way to say under 16s are allowed there between 3 and 9. But we're open for feedback. Council?
Well, if you look at the North Carolina laws on alcohol sales, I mean, they have to end at 2 a.m. It says you can't drink alcohol until 2:30. So, I mean, they end at 2 a.m. Monday through Saturday, and they end at 2 a.m. on Sunday. Start at noon. Unless specified by other ordinance, it could start at 10. But I don't really see we need anything open later than 2 a.m.
So the way that this printed on 33 there, that is 12. The track changes there, that 1 gets lost right before that red 2. So it's,
Right.
yes, it's 12 a.m., I'm sorry.
Oh, that's what we had previously discussed, was 12 a.m.
Yes, sir. So they would close at 12 a.m. and then they could reopen at 9 a.m.
But they could still clean up after that. If they closed at 12, or we're saying everybody has to be out of the establishment at 12.
That is that will be my follow-up question. That's why I don't want you all thinking you need to approve an ordinance tonight, because I'm gonna need to know if you want us making sure that the building is empty at 12, or if that means staff is cleaning up, or what exactly that means.
I mean, to me, I would think it would mean that they're not open for business.
Right.
They could still be in doing stocking or whatever they need to do. what I was assuming meant. Closed for business, they can't be selling or having customers inside, but, I mean,
We previously had the discussion that we possibly would not even single out pool rooms and be
Yes, sir.
just, and set a time for
Correct.
bars in general.
Correct. Which you are, certainly entitled to do under the, wielding the power of the state for health and wellness provisions of 168. Any other feedback?
So I'm good with the 12 to 9. 9 AM open and 12 PM closing. But I do think that I would like to have put in there because, our possible uncle, the person that's bought the property is the billiard guy. And he talks about running billiard tournaments. So I would like to have added into our, chapter 112 for amusements, I would like to have for city tournaments, extending hours per permit required, only 2 permits per month, 2 separate events, no longer than 3 days. So in case they did have a tournament, that they could run it over, but not without permit. So I would like to see that put in the wording of our ordinance. But that's my personal opinion.
So the only thing that, governs the vintage dog as far as the alcohol sales is the ABC laws, right? And so that's what Pat referred to as that 2 and 12, right?
Yes, sir. We have a section of our ordinance, and forgive me, but I can't remember, I think it's 113, but I'm gonna look it up right before I'm sitting here. That does, cover alcohol sales. Shoot.
But I think that would mirror the ABC laws as well, I mean.
Yes, it does.
I would not think we would be anything less or more restrictive.
We're not, it mirrors the ABC laws, but it was 111.
So my thing would be, what would be the difference between the same hours operating for the dog as it would be for this billiard hall? I mean, the 2 AM and, you know, similar to that would be consistent with other practices with the town's already got ordinances for. So, yeah, and I'm like, you know, I agree with, Councilman Wood that we need to have a time, but I'm not sure 12 AM would fit with tournament types and those type of things, so. But I think it's something we can work on and work out maybe.
I just think about the town, our town, and I think this is probably an issue that I think there's apprehension on this establishment opening. And then with what happened at the new bar in Shelby, that just gives added possible issues. So I think that we can put restrictions on and we can take them off, but if we don't put them on in the beginning, it's gonna be hard to add restrictions after the point. So I think maybe if we have some, and then maybe things go and everything, we can take some off. So I think I'm fine with it, it's a pool hall, it's a billiard, whatever you call it, but I think some restrictions should be put on it, and it should be treated differently than the vintage dog, that's my opinion.
Just from a zoomed all the way out, this is, I'm not a coincidence person. However, we are not talking about this because of a specific use. This was actually already, on your agenda before the Campus Pizzeria building, changed ownership. Because we have not reviewed this section of the ordinance since 1966. And so it's on my list, we're in the summer, we spend time going through all the ordinances and bringing some of those up that we chew through in the fall. But this isn't about a specific use, it's just we were gonna look at it anyway. It just so happened that, that building changed ownership. I think Councilman Green, I think you were about to say something.
yeah, well, is the whole building's gonna be a bigger hall?
At this point, we don't have any plans or any, we don't have a zoning permit or anything
No.
else.
What I hear is that the front part of it's just gonna be a sports bar, the rear's gonna be the pool hall. So my concern is if we regulate the entire building, why would we regulate it any different than we do the vintage dog? And
The statute allows you to, so the reason that this is under amusements is because when they drafted that section of 168, they specifically earmark amusements, billiard halls, pool halls, blah, fairs, carnivals, merchants.
But most of those are either or. This could be both.
Yes, and so I think that's why it's a specific use, and we don't typically write ordinance for a specific use in that regard, because typically you would find something like this in the UDO with zoning. But because the statute allowed us to, we did back in 66. Now, of course, if three of you say that you don't want us to do it at all, then, we will file that paperwork post haste.
I don't know if I want to say that, but I think if I were him, and part of my establishment was quite similar to the vintage dog, and you're telling me I gotta do these things, but they don't have to do it. And I'm not, I mean, I think the vintage dog has been very responsible. I'm not picking on them at all.
Right.
But somewhat here, I have a little reservation that we're perceiving that all these problems are gonna arise without giving the owner an opportunity to do like the vintage dog does, and take care of himself. So I'm kind of mixed. I got mixed feelings.
Yeah, and I think thinking about this more in the abstract, so not specific to any one individual or property, but just generally, assuming that the town assuming that we wanted to rent out the post office to a billiard hall, what would we want the rules governing that area to be?
You don't think it's different if you got a sports bar and a billiard hall in the same establishment?
So could he have both, and then at that point, at 12 a.m., if that was the ordinance, he'd have to close the pool hall portion and then still maintain the ABC permit, or is it all incorporated into one business license?
That's kind of my point. Maybe he could.
I think that, that level of nuance we would probably split those hairs when we got the zoning permit to see what exactly the zone, because, our zoning code allows us, as the ordinance administrator, we actually determine what it's zoned as, so we will tell it what use it has. And so there is a section of the zoning ordinance that's under amusements. So if he is zoned as an amusement, then that would be, it would fall under this as well. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, so the vintage dog is zoned as B1 or B2?
It's B1 and it's zoned as a bar.
So basically, it could be a mixed use, except in some type of conditional circumstance.
Potentially, yes, sir. And I'm not sure, I wanna say that billiard halls are not, conditional use, but I'm going off my memory now and I get dangerous when I do
But
that.
that might be something you look at, and as we tool this thing, as we consider it, like I said, I think there needs to be some constraints, I just don't know what.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's what we're all sort of wrestling with here, I'm not sure, so.
Well, did somewhere say more than one pool table? Somewhere it said that. If, if somebody just puts in one pool table, they're not considered a billiard hall. Or
Maybe just have, like having a pinball machine or something in the corner, one of these machines where you put a quarter in and try to get something.
So it would probably be a recreation facility, so this is what it would be. Recreation facility and amusement indoor is what the zoning code would classify this as. And so that is permitted by right. So it would not require any further review above Mr. Cook, in B1 and B2. I will say, I do know, of the existence of other, pool tables in town in an institutional district. But, I don't know. At the Tucker Student Center.
So you've got.
And you don't have any idea when.
I have no idea what time they close.
You don't have any idea when you'll get the request.
we've not had anything come in.
But a desire to honor private business and not single out a particular patron, while at the same time understanding that many of our citizens were apprehensive. And so maybe you can come up with a couple of options to present to these guys next time.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, that's kind of that's where do we strike that balance? And so that's really good discussion.
And where's his timetable on wanting
We've not gotten anything from him. No, Isaac still says no, so we've not gotten anything from him. He painted the building
yeah, that's nice.
and approves color, which is in the downtown design overlay district.
He's having signs made.
He's having signs made.
And he is working on the inside.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
I guess all that to say, ball's in your court,
Wonderful.
Yep.
y'all's court.
We will put together some options. We'll try to do a cafeteria style, scoop of this, scoop of that, and let y'all have some options there. Maybe we could just, permit, yes or no, kind of stuff, and we can see how it all meshes together.
Well, in defense of our citizens, they're really won't know what's going to go there. They anticipate a lot of not good things, which, so that's where we are in letting them know.
I agree with that too, but some of that, it's just perception.
Exactly.
I mean, idea, we might be beating this guy up, something he won't be up and up, that's.
But I think anytime you put alcohol somewhere, there's a lot of unknowns there.
Had 2 beer dogs before. They didn't sell alcohol, but let me tell you, there's alcohol involved.
I grew up in
So they could.
Not with the alcohol, just to be clear. I'll set it.
No comment.
Just for the record.
No comment.
Mr. Manager, if you want to keep the floor, it's your turn.
Oh, okay, absolutely. Manager's report, oh goodness. Sorry, everybody. Oh no, it's only 7:30, okay. We can't get out of here before 9. I don't know.
We won't.
It's the mayor's
Remember evaluation.
That's true.
Need over in court.
That's right.
Bring that again.
Do you all want us to cancel the monthly subcommittee meeting for the 14th of November? Okay. We can certainly do that, but that is always the first, it's the 11th, I lied to you, it's on the 11th.
That's right.
And we're closed that day for Veterans Day, so we would love to not come in for the subcommittee meeting, okay, easy. Haley Martin is with us tonight. Haley is our program support specialist extraordinaire. Haley, stand up. Haley comes to us by way of the Cleveland County Sheriff's Department, where she served with distinction for several years. She's also a resident of the town of Boiling Springs and lives on Twin Lake Drive. We are excited to have her. She has hit the ground running and is doing a great job.
Well.
2026 community events. This year we held, I know it's that time. This year we held 2 main events as part of our Music on Main series, and then we're also doing the Christmas parade and tree lighting. I don't count the Christmas events as part of our community events. So how many community events would you all like to see? 2, 3, 4, do you want to stay with 2? We were at 4, we went down to 2 to try to focus in on those 2. So you remember we did the car show, and then we just came off the craft fair now. Did that seem to work well?
I think what really worked well is to move it in the parking lot and get everything contained in the parking lot. I think that was a big hit for the town.
Traffic flow and everything, we didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
It's also cheaper.
I think events like that are good.
Okay.
For the town and people, I think offering, I would like to see us offer at least 4. I just think they're good. I know they're a lot of work for
Tracy. I started to say you guys, you don't do anything.
I do.
And that's my concern, I mean, do we have a committee per se, or is it Tracy?
So Haley is actually gonna take over a significant portion of that. But there is a very small committee of 2.
Okay.
It has just actually increased significantly. It was 1, and it's now 2.
At
So-
one time, we had a committee, those town citizens, I was on that committee, and
We-
my wife was.
We have had a committee of town citizens for, and I know the Crossroads Festival.
Yeah, we did.
And we've had several who have reached out about getting involved in other things. And so I almost wondered if we wanted to do 2 events next year. So that, because we've got some staff transition, and then maybe setting up a citizen committee at the same time. And then keep 2, and then maybe the year after we increase the frequency, assuming that everything goes as well as it did this year.
We'll also have some significant construction.
We will.
In the 26 year, so.
Yes, we will. That's true.
The one thing we did learn from the past was events in the summertime were not well attended. It was hot.
Yeah.
So that was why we did away with the June, July event.
2 okay? Car show,
Oh, very cool.
fair, okay.
Tractors.
As always, if you have ideas, please send them to us. I'm not naturally creative. And I'm not unnaturally creative either. I'm not creative at all. So, we need all the help I can get. Christmas parade, same route. Oh, yeah, they do, they know. Christmas parade, rain or shine, same route. It will be unaffected by construction, which is both good and bad news. There are applications posted online now. So, we have had those coming in left and right, so that's great news. No candy throwing.
Regular people.
Experience hath shown, no candy throwing. So please do not forget Christmas parade, and then we will have the Christmas tree lighting event out here again. We let the local elementary schools, the local schools know, so elementary schools are invited, we let them know that in the summer. And Crestville and Crest High School, so hopefully they've been putting together some kind of ensemble of something, and so we look forward to that. Questions on the parade or tree lighting?
We can still run candy, we just can't throw it. Just get it to the side.
But do not throw it,
Okay.
because that's an insurance liability, and I'll get in trouble. Town hall is gonna be closed to
If
public.
they would get in trouble, it's
Well,
with you,
yeah.
we can throw it.
I will get in trouble on your behalf, and so that's always, you know. Town hall will be closed to the public on the 4th, so we will still be here, but that's election day, so they'll use this room, for elections, and so we're gonna put that out this week and just let people know, hey, pay your water bill either on the 3rd or the 5th, and so that we're not clogging up the front out here. South Main Street improvements. So the anticipated start date, we've confirmed with Sossaman Construction, is gonna be January 2026. It is right now proposed to be a 9-month project. I'm not optimistic, so I said 11, but we'll see. There's always rain and things like that delay them. He is looking at some of the numbers and making sure we've sharpened our pencils. So they're looking at the cost of the mast arm pole, because it was higher on his proposal than it was on the other 2. And so he understood that our interest was making sure that was as cheap as possible, and that it was obviously of superior quality, but if the other 2 were right there together, and he was about $150,000 over where both of them were, and he said that was because, he was doing some estimation with that, so he's hoping that he'll be able to really hone in on a stronger number there for us. And also on the paw prints, his paw prints were significantly more expensive, so he's narrowing that down as well. He said the exact same thing there, that those were the 2 items he wasn't 100% certain on, and so he needed to put a bid in.
I didn't think we went with the paw prints.
We have not decided to do the paw prints unless it's an add-on unless the price comes down to be more manageable.
Understood.
Because I think that I'm going off memory, I get dangerous, but his estimate was 186. So, and some of them were as low as 20. So potentially, if we can get that closer to the ballpark, that sounds like a capital expenditure for tourism-related purposes. And I'm limited on how much I can say about that because there's another member of the TDA in this room and we don't need to have another public meeting. But there's that. AT&T, Spectrum, and Duke are working, that's their word, to complete the line realignment by January. Again, hold your breath. But AT&T is the one that we've waited on. Our contact at Duke has actually had some pretty significant health concerns as of late. AT&T is gonna send me their plans tomorrow, so I have a calendar invitation to remind me in the morning.
DOT approval.
We have submitted everything to North Carolina DOT, and they are fast tracking that because they have contingency dollars in this as the protected turn lanes. And so their protected left turn lanes are still sitting there in their budget, locked up in a little box. And so they are ready to get that money out of their contingency budget. So we have DocuSigned several things, so it's in Raleigh now with them. We do have to pay them $5,000 to look at the plan, but that's okay. Happy to do it if it gets it moving. So we should have, I hope, we will have an invoice for that $5,000 by the end of this week. Very good. Anything on South Main? Okay, I tried to put that at the top of my things. Federal government shutdown, so we need to talk about a couple things here. It's really a list. So the School of Government sent out a list of things they felt like we should do. And it's identifying exposure, submitting any kind of pending reimbursements, look at a cash flow plan, contact our state partners, keeping the board informed, documenting what we've done, and looking at audit impact. We have done all of those, so the most important ones for you are gonna be the cash flow plan, which Rhonda has given you in the financials. We don't have any cash flow problems right now that we foresee. We're lucky in that a lot of our grants, if they are federal pass-through. And so we don't have, that funding has not been affected because the state actually holds the money and then gives it to us. So we've not seen anything of note there. We have seen some things on the reporting side, just some things that like our immigration forms we have to file after a new hire, those kinds of things, you're supposed to do them within 48 hours, and some of that stuff's coming back due to the shutdown, but it's okay. We've documented that we attempted to turn it in and it was unsuccessful. The county has sent out a note that I forwarded to you all at about 6:15-ish about food pantries in our area and in the county because of the lapse of SNAP funding effective, I think, October 31st. And so there are 2 food pantries listed for Boiling Springs. One is at Boiling Springs Baptist Church and one is at Calvary Baptist Church. So if you know folks affected, you feel free to send them there. The Federal Government Office of Management and Budget has not released the federal audit requirements. It's a 2025 audit compliance statement, and we have to have that to complete a portion of our audit. Now, I don't think it will be a significant portion of our audit, though Mary Grace and Daryl Keller will need that for our audit. So they are not forecasting, because the audit's not due until December 31st now, so they're not forecasting any kind of lapse in the audit, but they did want us to, that's something that the School of Government told us we need to make you all aware of. Gardner-Webb University is hosting public forums by the Presidential Search Committee, and those will be held, pencils ready, those will be held on November the 4th. One of them is on November 4th from 2:30 to 3:15. The other one, the second one, is on November the 6th from 2:30 to 3:15. And then the third one is on November the 7th from 2:30 to 3:15. And so all of those will be in Faith Hall at the Tucker Student Center. And so that will, those are public forums for the Presidential Search Committee. I think it's, excellent that they're having that. I know we've talked robustly about, sharing input back and forth, with the university and us, them contributing to our town strategic plans. I think this is a great step. Very important note here. Tractor Supply is set to open at the latest, January of 27. So I keep getting asked if they're coming. January of 27. They may be open in November of 26, but January 27 is what they're telling me the latest would be. So they're charging ahead full steam.
And wasn't there a change in how you would get to the main entrance would be coming off of a different?
So it's all still gonna be on East Homestead.
Okay.
It was the way that the property connects, instead of it being a joint use between Tractor Supply and the neighboring currently vacant parcels, that was the original plan, that is no longer the plan. Now, Tractor Supply is gonna have its own privately maintained entrance, separate from the neighboring parcels. It'll have a weird looking doorstop type of asphalt pavature so that the trucks can pull in and then back straight in, but, so they are ready to go. A question has been raised about speed limits in town and, to what extent council's interested in reducing the speed limit in town, on North and South Main, East and West College to 25. It's 25 in the heart of downtown now, but once you get past the Vintage Dog, once you get below Rapid Pace, once you get just past Strap, and once you get, it's not all the way at Ingles, I don't think, is it? I think it's the crosswalk up there at O'Reilly's, isn't it? Yeah. Do you all want to kick 25 all the way out? I mean, do you wanna look at expanding that?
I've had someone talk to me about that. I would love to do it, like 25 going out towards Gaffney on 150. I don't see why you can't just take it to Stadium Drive. I mean, that would be logical to me. I mean, you got 25, 35. So I'm usually one that is heavy on the gas pedal, but not in this town. So I just think the buffer could be extended out for the 25. That's personal opinion of mine.
I just think enforcement of the regular speed limit would go a long way. I don't think we enforce the speed limit. And so if it's 25, people are still gonna go 40. Are we gonna write them tickets for 40 and 25? Are we gonna write them for 45 and 35? I mean, people fly through town for sure. And if reducing the speed limit to 25 would help, then I would be in favor of that as well. But I think people are gonna have to pay the penalty of speeding through town, and then they'll stop speeding as much. And not even through town, but up Wall Avenue and down Hillcrest, and people do not go slowly.
But I think that they come near slowing down at 35, and they're slowing down to 25.
I still think there's a lot of law-abiding citizens out there who follow the speed limit. I think there are some.
Yeah.
They're gonna drive what they're gonna, no matter what the speed limit is. But I do think there are law-abiding citizens who do obey the law. And I hope that there's more of those than there are speeders. That's a hope.
And if they're driving the speed limit, then the speeders will have to be behind them and hold up.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's hard to go.
I'd be in favor of reducing it.
20, this is hard to go 25.
Would you stop putting your foot on the gas pedal?
Drive anywhere and get 25 miles an hour.
We have the sign that they put up, there's one now on, this side of Christmas, somewhere over there. And I see 5 or 6 cars in front of me, and then say they're doing 38. Before they get that sign, they're doing 35. Which tells me that they realize maybe that drives are remembering, hey, I'm going too fast. So I'm kind of trying to watch that. Now, there's some, like I said, people are gonna drive fast, they're gonna drive fast. I do hope that there's enough law-abiding people that the speed limit says 25 that they drive 25, or it says 35, they drive 35. I don't have no issue, I don't have a problem in reducing it. That's just my thought.
Do we need to come up with those
No,
comments?
North Carolina, so we would make the request, I would make it on your behalf to NCDOT.
But do we need to come to a consensus about?
Yeah, they're gonna ask me what you want them to do. So
Okay,
they're gonna
me
say,
and
like,
Tommy
what
are
would your
in favor.
council, what is your council gonna support?
Now, where did this come from?
A citizen asked me about it,
One citizen or?
one, but I think I think he was speaking on behalf of the group.
Speeding has been an issue for the entire 10 years that I've been here.
And have we noticed an increased highway patrol presence?
Yes.
I get a lot of complaints about that.
Not recently, no, we saw a good bit when we were in that interim chief,
Yeah.
but not since.
Oh, it was happening last week.
Just missed it.
Yeah.
Well, I wanna see a map, what we're
There's a
talking
new
about.
dog in town.
So I guess that's what we were talking about now. So are we talking about like East Homestead being 25 from Homestead in on North Main and from Stadium Drive in and on Flint Hill in?
Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about,
I
just
mean,
expanding the radius for 25 mile an hour.
And maybe Hillcrest in, I mean, is that sort of what you're looking for recommendation if we're?
Yeah, just whatever, yes, sir. That's roughly where all you would like us to expand those areas. And we can put together a formalized map and have that to you all in December. Any town-owned street, you can adjust I don't know of any town-owned street that is not 25. But if that's the case, then we can adjust those. But if it's a DOT road, we'll have to ask them.
The chances are pretty good if we request DOT that they will approve that, most likely.
I think there have been much more likely to decrease it rather than increase it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you decreased it and then said, oh, we hate that, can we go back up? I don't know that that's gonna happen. Because part of our Safe Streets for All community and the Vision Zero network that we're in, where we've talked about road diets and we've looked at all that grant material and things, part of that is reducing speed limits to limit crashes. Enforcement notwithstanding, so I think that's consistent with what we've done before, but if we go down, I don't know that we'll be able to increase the speed limits back. So would you rather me give you all a map showing you specifically where?
I would, so I know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And can you consult with the police as well?
Yeah, we can do that.
And Zach, were these citizens, were there wanting people to slow down, or they thinking that if put 25 is gonna slow people down, or where are we with it?
Yes, that's what it was. And so the reason you don't have a map tonight, I got this on Friday,
Okay.
so that's why it's in my manager's report. So that's why you don't have a map today. It's because I got it on Friday, so I just wanted to see what people were interested in. So I can do that.
I think that's a good idea.
Easy peasy.
I think it's a good idea too. You know, it also would make more in line with our golf cart policy. You know, golf carts can't drive over 25 miles an hour.
Councilman Litton, I think that's a suggestion for how, you can do 25. Just trade your car in for a golf cart.
Well, that's about what it costs.
Strategic plan update. I'm almost done, I promise. Strategic plan update. So you all will get the final version of that strategic plan on December the 2nd. So Gardner is planning to have that to me next week. And they're hoping to present that to you all in December. If there are any needed additions or revisions to that, we can do that. It'll just be that the student group is gonna present that to you all in December, and then they'll move into different courses next semester, but we can make those changes on the staff side as needed. They also did, Councilman Green, at your request. They did a Gardner Webb focused engagement piece with that. And so FYI, that had come up before, so I wanted to make sure I said it. Did you all notice that the agenda looks different? Do you like it better or worse?
I love it.
A lot of change this week. Different meeting time, different financials, different agenda. This version of the agenda is free. And so.
Like it even better.
If we like it, it's not significantly different. If you didn't notice a difference at all, that's fine too. But this version of the agenda doesn't cost any money. So, if we like it or we are willing to accept it for cheap, then this is what we'll switch to. Okay, good, there we go, thank you. Sorry. Lattimore sewer agreement, this is my last thing. The town of Lattimore, I met with them today, I met with Mayor Beal, so he is retiring from being mayor. And so he is running to be an alderman for the town of Lattimore. And so we met today, talked about the sewer agreement. We're putting that together, hoping that we're gonna have something to you guys. I don't know that it'll be December, but it may be January. But just to have something that we can, more than likely, what I'm thinking now, it would probably be an extension of the current contract, because part of the merger regionalization feasibility study we're conducting has the engineering firm draft a new interlocal agreement between us and Lattimore. It's just that our current agreement is expiring. And so we'll just need to, what I imagine would be, if you all are okay with the current agreement, we'll just kick that out until that MRF study is done. And with that, Mr. Mayor, I conclude my remarks.
Thank you, sir. Well, I can't remember if you went first last time, Councilman Blue. You wanna go first?
I'll go first, and I have nothing to comment on tonight, so I'm easy.
All right, that works. Councilman Green?
Only thing I'd like to say is, and I've kind of changed course here, I was gonna have some remarks I'd like to share about our mayor, but I think I'll save those till next month. I would just like to remind them how much he will be missed. I mean that sincerely. Starting tonight, it's not too late, people won't stay. Keep my seat.
I'll tell you about the ring of power.
Yeah, the ring of power.
But, I'll save those comments, I think, till next month. We'd like to remind Zach that we are still remembering you in your loss and being in my prayers. And see your mom here and your wife, so they, I know it's difficult, sorry.
Thank you.
That's all we got.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Thomas?
Yeah, I've got a couple things. So, congratulations to the chief and to the officers. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to make it to the meet and greet. I got tied up, but, welcome aboard and look forward to great things, coming in the future. Let's see, retail strategies. So we got other things happening with retail strategies. I mean, we got any movement that we could talk about openly, or is that? If not, you can get back to me.
Let me get back to you.
Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, we are, and we have money into the retail strategies, and we're trying to recruit businesses and develop our town, and, I just hope that, you know, we don't lose sight of that, and that we continue to press forward on those endeavors. The third thing is, so with zoning for, like an establishment like the tattoo parlor, or the tattoo salon, whatever it's called. Not trying to disparage them, but I had a complaint that they have somebody, family living there, and so is that dealt with through zoning? Is that, I mean, how do we deal with that?
The one on North Main Street?
Yes.
Yes, so I've had that same complaint, we've turned that up, well, we take a whole of government approach to that, so, we farmed that out to outside agencies, where that complaint needs to be lodged in our community partners. But internally, we've also done some zoning enforcement and other code enforcement related activities, and that problem will be abated, I'm assured.
It's in the works right now.
It is currently in the works. And my understanding is there is going to be, or currently there either has been or will be a petition to rezone that property from business back to residential.
Let's see, man, I got too many things on my list. Let's see, thank you, I want to say, service and great conversations and thoughtfulness and compromise has gone a long way, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. I'm excited about, new opportunities for you and new opportunities for, Councilman Green if he's elected. I don't know. I guess there could be a bunch of write-ins.
I think I shared with Fred earlier, it's gonna be bad when you get beat by Mickey Mouse.
But no, in all joking aside, Daniel, you've been a great influence for me, and I appreciate that greatly. And that's a testament to your dad and to your family as well. So, thanks. And then the last thing is just, it's been my honor to continue serving here, and I can, like I said, if after Tuesday night I'm no longer here, then I still had a great time here. I've learned a lot from all the other council members, and I know that the town will still be in great hands after that, regardless of the outcome. So again, thank you for the service. Thank you to the staff who continue to work diligently to make this town work and run. So, and again, condolences, Zach, to you and your family. So, thank you. That's all. Thanks.
All right. Councilman Litt?
Congratulations to the officers. We look forward to this new police department and future going forward. Welcome Haley. Also condolences to Zach and his family at the loss of his father. The only other business item I had was the property on Lyman Street and the burned house. That kind of like brings up reminiscence of what was going on with the Roosters building. So what's going on there? If you can like just.
Absolutely. So the burned house is actually subject to, we've reached out to the Moser Group to see what their current property owners, to see what their plans are for that development. That current property is, now that house has existed for this period of time, is in violation of Title IX of the town's ordinance. And so, it will either be abated by us or by the property owner. The amount of belly aching and fines between here and there depends solely on someone else.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Being looked at. So they're intended to still sell that property or develop that property?
My understanding from them is they intend to develop the property. So, they erected that sign that's currently out there. And when they did, they ran afoul of the town's sign ordinance. So, we sent them a letter letting them know that they needed a sign permit. And so they did a sign permit, were approved, and they indicated at that time that their intention was to develop that property.
Okay, I appreciate the information.
I'm sorry, that was
I've
really
received some
long.
questions about that, so.
Yes.
And I'll say, for the next meeting, whatever comes up, we'll go from there with, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Ellis?
Again, I would, Zach, we thank you about you and your family. Jonathan, Chief took over. Jonathan did a great job taking care of our citizens. And then Chief took over. So it's great to see we're getting our staff completed. We have a great staff anyway. And leadership from Zach, I always say it, every meeting I come to, there's nothing we throw at him that he can't figure out. And I'm admired for that. And Mayor, I'll say my remarks to a later date. But thank you, staff, for taking care of our citizens. That is the main thing. The staff taking them through us. So we appreciate you. So that's it.
Thank you, sir. Well, I've been nervous since I got out of the car for this part, but I've gone on, I hope, enough about the staff and their excellence and professionalism. My kids have made cookies and stuff like that, and then we've come in. I hope I've talked enough about the wisdom and forward thinking of the council. The people of Boiling Springs, sorry if the extra insert cost $100 extra or something like that for the mailing, but I appreciate the opportunity to give those words. And so I'll keep this part short and copy from another guy who gave a farewell address, and he said, however political parties may now and then answer popular ends, they are likely in the course of time and things to become potent engines by which cunning, ambitious men will be enabled to subvert the power of the people and to usurp for themselves the reins of government, destroying afterwards the very engines which have lifted them to unjust dominion. And that's from President Washington. What makes this place special is that it is nonpartisan. And there will no doubt at some point in the future be an attempt to make it partisan. We've seen it with the school board. And I encourage the council and the citizens of this town to maintain our nonpartisanship, because we have people from different parties on this dais. I don't know what they are because we don't bring it up. I have a U beside my name. I really am unaffiliated. But again, that stuff never comes up, and so compromise has happened from a variety of different angles over the 10 years that I've gotten to serve up here with you all. The nonpartisan nature of this keeps all of the noise out of it and relieves any made up pressure to advance. There's nothing wrong with anybody running for a different or higher office from this position, but as I've been trying to remember, I don't think that's ever happened. This is not a stepping stone. And again, no disrespect. People ask me, do you run for, no, I'm not running for anything else. But people come and serve here as representatives of the 4,000 or so people that we have here. And it has been a true honor and privilege to be able to serve with people who have that pure motive. And so I really appreciate all of the kind words and encouragement, but it's just been so easy. It's just been so easy because of the character of this town. So thank you. We do need a motion to go into closed session for a personnel matter. Is there a motion to do so?
Motion to go into closed session.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, we'll enter into closed session. Can we say at 8? Can we take a 5-minute recess?
Sure.
Okay, so we'll take 5 minutes. Council will meet back in the conference room. Just us to start.
Nate, don't leave on Is 4 Southbridge? You're giving us a bunch of easements, it's fine.
Don't give him a look.
Hey, you gonna be doing all right. I need to reach out.
Hey, Isaac, that is Zach.
I'm trying to keep the riffraff out.
Go ahead if you need to go do something. Go ahead, I'll stand over here. Okay.